Hi, I'm Matthew. Welcome to my channel, and today it's Wednesday, but it's going to be a late video. Okay, today's video is not a shaving video or a try it out video. It's more of a modification slash hack video. And before I proceed, I want to tell you, I know everybody knows this, but razor blades are extremely sharp. And if you feel uncomfortable at any point of watching this video, do not attempt it yourself, because bad things can happen and I don't want you to end up like this. So with that being said, hopefully I don't or didn't jinx myself in this video, but today's video is basically going to be how to modify a gym blade to fit a Valet Autostrop. And so let's kind of talk a little bit about it. This particular blade is the one that you can get, and if you get the 100 pack like this, they're about 26 cents or so per blade, and you get 5 to 7 or more shaves, which is very nice, but it will not fit in the razor without some modification. Now, if you're thinking, well, I really need to have one of these razors and I don't want to modify any blades, you can purchase these feather blades. They are a single edge blade and they look like this on the back here. But these blades are pretty expensive. They're about $1 a blade, and you're going to get 1 to 2 shaves out of it, and you have to toss it. So that's kind of a downfall to it. And I'm not really going to give a history lesson on the Valet Autostrop razors right now, but I will say I just did a shave with this particular razor on Sunday's video, and what you need to think about, if you have this one, this hack will work for this razor, which is the VC1. And there was 6 generations of this razor, and there was, you know, some incremental steps and changes along the way. But this hack will work on the A1, the A2, the B1, the B2, the VB1, and the VC1. And after that, there was a change, and so this hack will not work for any razor after that. So I'm going to have to kind of explain a little bit about it. So if you can see, this part right here on the razor is where the blade actually fits into. Now, when you pull this lever here down, it will engage the blade and lock it in. So what you'll have to do is push it up, and then it allows the stropping mechanism to actually flip the blade back over. And this is the part that we're focused on. If you're purchasing a razor, make sure that it has this part here, and you can see there's a little bitty roller right here, and you slide the blade in that way and it locks into place, and then you put it in. So there's kind of a quick identification. So just out of comparison, if you're not familiar with that, this one is the other version I was telling you about. It's kind of hard to see this part here. It's much different than this one. And the reason that it won't work is when you push that tab up, it's going to let this part here drop down. And it's hard to, I probably can't get it in the camera here, but that blade tray right here actually locks in. See if I can get it to be able to get you to see it. Right here, this blade tray locks into that flipping mechanism. And so you push this little tab here, and it will allow that, I don't know if you want to say the top cap, but this plate here actually opens up, and you would set the razor in on these little tabs. It's kind of fiddly. That's why it's dangerous. This guy didn't do so well, but see those little tabs there and there? That's what holds the blade in. So if you do this hack, it's not going to work for this particular razor. So there are options for this later. I may do another video, but this is not the one to get for this video. Okay, I think I've cleared that up enough. And you really don't need anything fancy. You can actually get away with one particular tool, and that would be it. But I use multiple things just to be a little safe. So the first thing you're going to need is some needle nose pliers, and you could get away with using this if you wanted, or you could get away with using some wire cutters, side cutters, or dikes, whatever you like to call them. I may call it anything at this point. Okay, so like I said, if you don't feel safe, you can get one of these feather blades, and this is what it looks like. And I'm going to kind of use this as a reference. There's that. I'm just going to set it down carefully. And here is the gem blade right here. If you can see it, get my little finger, gem. And then here's the other side. Now it comes wrapped in this little piece of cardboard. I would leave it on or save it for future reference. And if you don't want to use either hand tool, which you still kind of need to have one, but you can still do it without. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to do, just for a little extra safety, is I got a piece of duct tape, and I'm just going to stick it over the cardboard, because if you look in there, if that cardboard was to slide forward a little bit, there is a chance that you could cut your finger. So I just take an extra piece of duct tape and put it over the cardboard, and then that way it kind of keeps it from sliding. So what you're going to want to have to do, see if I can get in here closer. See this spine? There's a little bit of an indentation right here, and then there's this crimp. Probably can't see the crimp. Maybe it's better on this side. The crimp is holding this spine in along with that little ridge. So what you're going to want to do is you could take whatever your tool of choice is, and you're going to stick it right there on the line. Right there on that line. You don't want to be too far over, or you'll be clamping down that blade. And all you're going to want to do is, when you grab it, you're going to want to gently twist it and then work your way up and gently twist it. I'll try to do this on camera, and it's kind of hard to do because my camera is up higher. Okay, now I think I've got it well enough, high enough, to where now you should just be able to grab. Now if you grab too far down and you squeeze, you're going to re-pinch it back on there. So there, it came right off, and you can discard this now. You don't need it. Now you would think, by looking at this blade and this blade, the feather versus the gem, that you're in the clear, because they look similar, but this one is just a little bit wider than that one. Let's see if I can get it turned around here. See this little cutout on the feather? It's deeper. I gotta be careful because this one is sharp. This one, the feather is a deeper cut than this one, and that's going to prevent you from getting it to slide in there. So what you're trying to do is you're going to modify this blade. See this little tab here and this little roller? That's where those little notches that curve down the little moon shape needs to fit in between there. Now, if you don't want to cut it, there is an option. But what I like to do is you take your side cutters, and you can either nip away in there, but it's a little bit So what I like to do is just take it and put it, I know my fingers are in the way, but if you can line it up and get it like right there, and then you snip it. Now, when you go to snip this, I would try to keep your hands maybe away from the blade, and whenever it goes to cut, it's going to shoot that extra piece there. So don't be looking at it. Probably point it away from you or in the sink with the stopper down so you can catch that piece. And then you're going to come over and do the second piece. Now, just for time saving purposes, because I don't know, my video is getting probably a little long. Here's what the blade that I did before. And like I said, I know that's a little bit more, it's a little bit more of a cutout than what you need. see if I can line these up. Not really. Anyway, you can see that was cut off. And I would say that if you have a decent pair, it's probably okay, but you know, this is a hardened steel, and as you're snipping it, these are probably going to be more dedicated to just cutting. It's not going to cut copper wire as nice as what it did before. So that's kind of that. Let's see. So the other option is, if you don't want to do the snippety snip, and I know there's going to be people that are like, oh, the temper of the metal. If you have a Dremel, you can, while this is, you know, still taped up, just kind of gently, and as long as you can still touch this with your fingers and it's not like, oh, it's hot, you're not going to mess with the temper. So you just kind of gently, and if it starts getting a little warm, dip it in water and go again. That's another option. It just depends, you know, it's like shaving. There's a million ways to do something. You could put it in a milling machine and mill it down or whatever. I know there's going to be some comments, but that's kind of that. So when you go to put this in, this is where I kind of think that this razor is a little bit dangerous because of this, and I'm going to try to do it on camera. If you've made it this far and not cut your fingers, you're doing great. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that and slide it into that little area right there. And you're just, once you get it started past that roller, it's pretty simple. And then you can either use your finger down here, or if you've got a piece of cardboard or whatever, you know, you could even do it on your shelf, or, you know, whatever other item. And then it just goes, you press it in there, and once it gets in there, it seats. It's perfect. And now you can see, I almost cut my finger when that flipped back. Okay, so remember that little roller I was telling you, this right here? See how it's sitting on the other side of it? And that's what you're wanting. And you'll know if you didn't get it trimmed far enough, because it will not sit down. And if for some reason it goes in at an angle, you can see this part here is a little bit higher than that part. You can take your box that your razor comes in and kind of gently pinch between these, and then you can push it down in there and it'll seat. But this is what it looks like loaded, and you can see that those are both equal on the spacing. And then it just flips down. And the one reason why I really like this razor, other than that it shaves really great, is it has these little tabs right here, and you can see they're pretty hefty. There's a big space here for it to hold the blade, to where as this one, they started getting a little cheap, and it's just a little bitty, I don't even know if you can get the camera to pick it up, but there's just a little offset there that it hangs on, and it doesn't actually capture the blade like this one. You can watch the blade go in. See how this portion actually caught the blade. And so no matter what you do now, it's going to be stuck in there until you go to open it back up. And now you could auto strop, but these blades don't auto strop. Okay, so that's that. Now you're ready for a shave. I think I've covered everything I want to talk about in the video. Like I said, it works great. If you don't want to go that option, you can always take this blade back out, and you can actually pull the blade out like this after you're done, but I wouldn't push in, because you got the cutting edge there. If you want to see the feather blade go in, I'm a lefty. You're just basically going to slide it in there exactly like the other one. See how that blade kind of wants to go up and down? You can take your box and just gently press on it. And my wife's in there coughing up a lung. Hopefully you guys don't hear that. And so there is that particular, and it slides right in there. Now, if you do have one of these other razors and you got on eBay, this feather blade will fit right in there with no problem. Come on, baby. See those little rollers right here? Keep that blade in pretty well. So on this one, you got to lift it a little bit and then pull it out. But switcheroo. Maybe the contrasting of the gold over the... So hard to get these on. It's like more of a delicate process. See how those little bitty tabs on the feather, it has that so it can actually fit in there and be secure. So you have a little bit of a balancing act to do with that. And to me, that seems a lot more difficult to do. Why they engineered it that way seems more complicated. See that little bitty tab that's holding that blade down? Very, very small. This is still a great shaver, but I would get the VC1 or earlier. Okay, well, that's the video for today. Let me know, did you cut your fingers? Do you have all your digits? What's happening? Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on Sunday Shave. You have a great rest of your week.